Good morning. It's time for Two Guys on Sports. I'm Larry Hazer.
I'm Dick Olson. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning, Dick. And not a shortage of information this week.
Yeah, we got lots of stuff here. All high school, too.
Yes, spring tournament's underway.
We're hitting tournament big time here with the Tracksters having their regionals, their sectionals tomorrow. The golfers had their regionals. Their sectionals, I believe, are Monday or Tuesday. I'm not sure.
Next week.
Yeah, and then so it's flying big time.
Yes.
So.
All right. Well, we'll start with track and field, where the regionals were held yesterday, and the first four finishers are on Tuesday. First four finishers in each event in all three divisions advance on to sectionals, which are tomorrow already. And we'll start in Division 3 at the Gilman Regional, and Neillsville did pretty well.
Yeah,
a lot of
25 kids involved in
Wow.
this. Yeah, just all. Let's start on the girls' side. Just a great day for them. All four of their relay teams went to start, and then Kaylee Lawrence, what a great day for her. She was a member of the 4x100 relay team also, but she was second in the 100, second in the 200, and second in the long jump. And I said this was going to be a big-time regional for her because she has Addison Wolf from Loyal and Izzy Sonentag from Cadott in the same one. And Kaylee's mom taped the 100, and Kaylee was leading probably till the last 15 yards, and Addison with just a tremendous finishing kick beat her by a tenth of a second. So very close. 200, a little more than that, but just a great day for her.
Yeah.
Taylor Smith, Larry from Neillsville, just a freshman, qualified in both hurdle events, and Gracie Shingart also went in the 100. Braylon Anding, the 1600 run, Sophie Hansen, the 800 run, and then Layla Walk in the pole vault. So a great day for the Neillsville
Now,
girls.
talking about Taylor Smith.
Yeah.
Now, my sons, they think she is going to be one to break the hurdle records at school.
I
So,
said
watch her.
she's a freshman, and I don't know where she came
No,
out of it.
no.
I never heard of her till now.
But she is a hurdler.
Yep. So
She's gonna be one to watch.
Very impressive. So,
Yes.
one of the best. The boys just had one of their better days of the year too. Brody Bergerman, 100, the 200, and the long jump. They too sent all four relay teams.
Yeah.
And then Zion Jones qualified in the 200. Marcus Luchterhahn second in the shot put, just about a foot behind there. Micah Zabel in the high jump. Coulter Dillenbeck and Landon Rakestraw on the triple jump. So a good day for them there. So
Yeah, and I was just looking at Bergman. He was over 20 feet
yes,
in his long jump.
Yeah, and he was very dominant also in the 200 also, so and the 100. So so
good for him.
Yeah, that's absolutely. So I mean, it's going to get a little tougher at sectionals, I'm sure.
Always does.
Always does. But good for him. But let's touch the Owen Whitney boys. Had a great day, Larry. They were first of the team on the boys' side. They had 108 points. Neillsville second on 103. But Brandon Geldernick winning the 100 and 200. He has just been awesome for them this year. Mason Gay winning the 300 hurdles. Colton Pazowski, the 800. Sully Paler qualifying in the shot put and the discus. Dominic Sherwood also in the 300 hurdles. The Columbus boys, Isaac Shear, no surprise there, winning the 1600 and the 3200. Cade Jensen for them also qualifying in the 800. Brecken Miller from Spencer, third in the pole vault, but he won the 110 hurdles, so it's a good day for him. Going with the girls, Kendall Weiler for 300 hurdles, Maddie Mueller, the 800, Cassidy Grosky, the 100 and 300 hurdles, Adeline Peterson, the 1600, and they sent three relay teams too. And then Cadott with Izzy Sonentag. Izzy was first in the 100 hurdles, the 400, 800 dash, and the long jump. So
She could have a team for herself.
Well, Cadott got first in the girls with 106 points. Izzy had 40 points personally of that, so she's 40% of a track team.
It's impressive, Neillsville, with all four of their relays.
Yeah, absolutely.
On both sides.
Yeah, that tells you a lot. There's some pretty good speed there, and also they've got some really, and the 4x800 too. You got people like Anding and Sophie Hansen, because that's a tough relay to run too.
Yes, so that's a 2-lap.
Yeah, that's
each.
not a sprint.
No, 2-lap each.
Yeah. So.
All right, there were some other regionals going on. We can just touch on a little bit. The one I wanted to look at was the Stratford regional.
Yeah.
Of course, you got some guys there, but the 3,200-meter run, they had three guys under 10 minutes.
Yeah. Cree DeFoe, has been first all year for Stratford.
Yeah.
He finished third in this thing.
Yes.
So
And he was at 9:55. He was third.
I said, this is true. And that, I said, I know we talk about this guy weekly, but Chris Marcel, he threw the discus 220 feet yesterday.
My son looked it up, and the NCAA record, I believe, is 237.
Yeah. The state record is 212 feet.
Oh,
That is in D1. The D2 record is 191, and the D3 record is 181. He's
Wow.
already 40 feet above the D3 record, which is what he will be competing in. So
and again, records can only be set
at the state
at
meet.
the state meet.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah. This 220.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's he had the longest throw in the state before this with 208. So he cleared that by 12 feet yesterday. And then for the heck of it, he threw the shot put 61 feet yesterday. And he was 15 feet farther than number 2 there. The discus, he was only 64 feet farther than number 2. So
I would like to see that.
Yeah, I would like to see this guy. So I
Just
really
throw it 220 feet.
That is, oh my goodness, that's what is that? Almost 75 yards.
A discus.
Yeah. That's 3/4 of a football field. My goodness,
Yeah, you're not throwing it like a football.
No,
I mean,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
flinging it
like
like a frisbee.
Yeah,
only overhand.
Yeah, so he has obviously got the technique
Yeah.
down, and he must be strong as an ox if he's throwing a shot put 64 feet too. So
Right. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
good for him. That's
He's
tremendous. So.
He's a guy to watch, and he's only a junior.
Yes, I know. Yeah, he could have a lot of records in this state before he's done. So
He could be an Olympian. For
yes,
crying out
absolutely.
loud.
He's got to have some state school. He's got to have some schools looking at him too.
I would think. I would
you'd
think.
hope so,
If you're not, you're,
yeah. Stratford had a big day over there too,
Yeah.
Larry. They too sent all 4 of their relay teams. I believe 3 of them got first. Jet Shaner first in the 100, second in 200. Colton Bright first in the long jump, but they beat Marathon by 25 points over there, so they had a big day in the place.
Yeah.
So.
well, that Jet Shaner, he can fly.
Yeah, you bet.
11:03 in
Yes.
the 100.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there's some people that
Yeah.
are under under 11 in the state, but
Yeah.
around here that's
11 is pretty.
That's fast.
I said that's him and Madden Marr are about 2 of the few around here that can approach that time. So
yeah. But I was just when I had to go see what
yeah.
Chris Marcel.
Yeah, that was the first thing I looked at this
And then I
morning.
saw
too.
220. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
All right, you can go on our website, cwbradio.com. I've got all the regionals there, the results.
Yeah.
You can click on to
Yeah.
find out how
and we'll know
people did.
by this time next week who's going to the state meet. And next week we will be talking about the state meet because the state meet is Friday and Saturday.
Yes.
A week from tomorrow. They really fly through that in track. I'll
Yes,
tell
they
you
do.
that. So.
Yeah. By the way, at sectionals tomorrow, the first 3 finishers in each event in Division 1 advance, and the first 4 in each event in
Yeah.
Divisions 2 and 3
Yeah.
advance to state.
Yeah, there's a good chance we're going to have a lot of representation in this area.
there's a lot of good track athletes around here.
Absolutely. So.
All right, let's switch to girls softball. No, boys golf. Let's go to
Okay.
boys golf. They had their regionals.
Yeah.
First 4 teams and top 4 individuals who
Yeah.
are not on those teams advance to sectionals next week.
Nilsville boys finishing 3rd at the Cadott Regional. That was excellent.
Yes.
Behind a very good Chautauqua Weyerhaeuser team who had 4 of the top 6.
Yeah, they beat Cadott by 40 strokes.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, they are going to be tough as
Yeah.
a team. They will be tough going down the line. Tucker Johnson from Nilsville tying for 2nd with a 76. So Nilsville, and then a couple. Sam Rasmussen and Jack Wendler from Owen Withy both qualified as individuals for that sectional, and that will be held at Turtleback at Rice Lake next week. So.
All right, and I believe that is next Tuesday.
Yes, I
is when
believe.
that will
Yes,
be.
yep. And then there was a marathon regional too. That marathon won as a team, and then Gavin Voss from Colby qualified as an individual there. Their sectional is at Bondwell.
You know, when I first brought up that regional
yeah.
this morning, it had Colby with a team score of 284. So then I looked down and I see Gavin Voss as an individual. I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Well, how can he qualify as an individual if they finish first? Well, then I looked at their scores and
Yeah.
they redid that
Yep.
later and had
Yep.
marathon
So-
number 1. So
Then D2 at there was at the GAT regional. Black River Falls finished 2nd. Carson Woodcock from Stanley Boyd goes as an individual. That sectional is at Hayward. And then D1, they were up at Wausau at Trap River. Wausau East first, Wausau West second, Point third, Marshall fourth, And their sectional is back in Wausau next week, but at Greenwood Hills.
Yes, it's the Wausau West sectional.
Yes, yeah,
where
the
that would
Wausau East Regional and the Wausau West Sectional. So,
All right, So then they will have that next Tuesday
Yeah.
and or Wednesday for next week
Yep.
for sectionals for boys golf. All right, girls softball. They had their regional semifinals, and what it stood out to me was how many 5-inning games there were in those regional
and
semifinals.
there were some 3-inning games too.
Yeah.
The cream really rose to the top. And when you write, I go through all this, and it's tremendous. All the seeds that hung through. I said, I seen maybe one 5 seed and a couple of 6 seeds, but other than that, there was nothing.
No.
It was.
I mean, you might see a 9 and over an 8, but that's really not an upset.
No, but it's regional finals. I said now it's a lot of 1s and 4s.
Yep.
Which is what a regional final should be. So it's we'll see. But in D5, number 5, Athens, a 5 seed, they go to Thorpe this afternoon, and then number 6, Rib Lake, who beat a number 3 in Gilman, and they go up to Rib Lake this afternoon.
Prairie Farm was the team that.
Yeah, Prairie Farm. Excuse me. Yep. Number 4, Royale, travels to Marshfield to take on Columbus. Columbus handling Elma Center Lincoln the other day. Number 6, New Lisbon, goes to Blair Taylor this afternoon. New Lisbon also a 6, Blair Taylor a 2. So then in D4, McDonald, who took out Loyal Greenwood handily, and then they travel to Stratford.
That should be a good one.
That should be a dandy. And then another interesting one for me, Larry, is number 4, Marathon, going to Pacelli. Pacelli, of course, defending state champions, number 1 seed, but that should be an interesting game. As should the other number 3, Auburndale, at number 2, Assumption. Assumption has a very good ball club this year.
Yeah.
They are one team. They were one of the few teams that handled Marshall Columbus this year, and I think they also gave Pacelli a good run or two too. So
okay,
and
all right, yeah.
Of course, and if they both win, they will be facing each other, Pacelli and Assumption. So
okay.
So
There you go.
yeah. Then in D3, Stanley Boyd, a 4 seed at Fall Creek. Fall Creek, very dominant team this year, looking like they're poised to make another run for Madison again.
Yep.
So D2, Lakeland is at Mosinee, Merrill at Medford. And then D1, Hudson is at DC Everest, Chippewa Falls at Wisconsin Rapids Lincoln, and Menominee is at Stevens Point.
Yeah, there are some there's some names there. Stevens Point and Chippewa
Chippewa
Falls.
right there, yeah. They have been on the ledger for state a lot.
A lot, yes.
A lot.
All right, so there you go. Regional finals for girls softball later on today. Winners move on to the sectionals next week for that. And, then you're inching closer to state.
Yep. Because then next week there'll be are the softball one-day sectionals also?
No, they go
They go 2 days.
2 day, yep.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Thursday, I believe they go next week.
Yep, so.
All right. Then we got boys baseball. They will have their games getting underway, the tournament later today.
Yep.
In Division 4, Greenwood is at McDonald Central, Lake Holcomb Cornell at Athens, Spencer at Gilman, Eau Claire Emmanuel Lutheran is at Spring Valley. The reason I bring that one up is because the winner there will play at Loyal.
Yep. And I should say that McDonald Greenwood game and the Athens Lake Holcomb, the winners play there. And the Spencer Gilman winner goes to Rib Lake on Tuesday. So
no easy task there.
No, absolutely not. and then Pep and Alma and at Independence Gilmanton, and the winner travels to Pittsville. Another sweet, tough trip to go.
Yes. New Lisbon is at Columbus Catholic today, and Alma Center Lincoln is at Leva Strum. Columbus Catholic, they got into a different kind of a regional. They're going south.
There you go. Way different. That's usually where Loyal usually ends up going that way.
Yep.
Columbus got that direction that way, and Loyal went the other way. So, they got New Lisbon at 12, and so the winners, and if they win, they play the winner of Cochrane Fountain City and can't read my writing, but whoever. So
Cochrane Fountain City, probably.
Yeah. So.
Division 3, Neillsville Granton is at Whitehall. We'll have that game for you on 92.7 WPKG later today. Neillsville Granton and Whitehall both coming in with losses.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Neillsville, we'll see. Kind of a, Tuesday, kind of a rough outing up at Loyal. Not so much for the effort, but a lot of mental mistakes.
Yeah, you haven't seen from them.
No, absolutely not. That was one of the poorest outings I've seen from them. And not at the plate. The plate effort was very good. I thought
they actually out-hit Loyal.
Yeah, had a lot of good at bat, but a lot of mental mistakes in the field, throwing to the wrong bases, not taking the out where you should, and just trying to do too much, really, and so many fundamental things, Larry,
Yeah.
like not catching the ball before you put a tag down and things like that. So we've seen too much of that, and hopefully they got that all worked out on Tuesday.
Yes.
Because they do that again tomorrow.
Well, it's one and done now.
Yeah, it's going to be one and done. So.
And congratulations again to Loyal winning the Eastern Clover Belt.
Absolutely, undefeated. That's a tough thing to do anyway. So
finished 12-0 in the conference.
And they're poised to make a run here. We'll see. We both brought up Rhett Lemovic limping around pretty good with that Achilles problem yesterday, and if they don't have him, he's their number one pitcher. And even if he's there with that Achilles, that might be tough pushing off with that Achilles too. If it's his right leg.
Defensively, if he's playing shortstop, the range might not be there.
Range is done too. So yep. So it's it takes one man down. They have some depth, but nothing like their pitching drops off a little bit from him. So, So
if Neillsville has any solace in their matchups with Loyal gave up 11 runs this year in the conference. 7 of them went to Neillsville.
Yeah, so
11 runs total.
Like I said, Neillsville had a lot of good at bat. There was very little striking out yesterday.
Yeah.
They were putting their bat on the ball. A lot of hit out of balls, but a lot of hits. But their difficulties were in the field yesterday.
Yep.
So,
all right, some of the other matchups coming up later today in regional quarterfinals for baseball. Durand, Arkansas is at Auburndale. Owen Withy Thorpe at Fall Creek. Colfax at Stratford. Stanley Boyd is at Regis. Glenwood City at Cadott. Those are in Division III. A couple in Division II in our area. Abbotsford Colby at Mosinee and Black River Falls at Bloomer.
Yep. So it's
winners advance to the regional semifinals next Tuesday.
Yeah, and D1 they don't start till next week. So
they begin next week. That's how it usually goes with all of their stuff. So there you go. Baseball, softball,
I think we
track,
got it all.
golf. It's all coming up. Busy.
More
busy.
More to come.
Yes, very much so. All right, let's get into Where Are They Now before we run out of time.
Okay, Larry. We're going to go over to Stratford. We're going to talk about Wally Schmidt. And Wally is a 1997 graduate of Stratford High School. In the fall, Wally was a 3-year letter winner on the Stratford football team. His sophomore year, the Tigers were 12-1. They were Marywood Conference champs, qualifying for the WI Division IV playoffs, where they lost in Level 4 to Fall Creek. Wally carried the ball 42 times for 184 yards and 2 touchdowns. On defense, he had 35 tackles and a fumble recovery. His junior year, the Tigers were 9-2. They were Marywood champs, qualifying for the WI Division V playoffs, but they lost in Level 2 to Hurley. Wally carried the ball 128 times for 730 yards and 11 touchdowns. On defense, he had 75 tackles and 2 interceptions. He was a first-team selection on the Marywood All-Conference offensive team and a second-team selection on defense. His senior year, the Tigers were 9-2, qualifying for the WI Division V playoffs, where they lost in Level 2 to Thorpe. Wally carried the ball 146 times for 1,130 yards and 14 touchdowns. On defense, he had 85 tackles and 2 pass interceptions. He was a first-team All-Conference on offense and defense. He was Marywood Conference Offensive Player of the Year, a Channel 7 All-Star, and honorable mention All-State, and was also selected to play in the Wisconsin Football Coaches All-Star Game. In the winter, Wally was a 3-year letter winner on the Stratford basketball team. His sophomore year, the Tigers were 13-10, losing in the regionals to Auburndale. Wally averaged 6 points per game. His junior year, the Tigers were 17-5, losing in the regional finals to Marathon. Wally averaged 9 points and 5 rebounds per game. His senior year, the Tigers were 18-5, losing in the regional finals to Auburndale. Wally averaged 11 points and 6 rebounds and was an honorable mention selection on the Marywood All-Conference team. In the spring, Wally was a 3-year letter winner on the Tiger baseball team. His sophomore year, the Tigers were 15-4. They were co-champs of the Marywood Conference, losing to Spencer in the regional finals. Wally batted .252 with 7 RBIs. His junior year, the Tigers were 14-7, losing to Abbotsford in the regionals. Wally batted .265 with 11 RBIs. His senior year, the Tigers were 15-5, losing to Edgar in the regional finals. Wally batted .282 with 12 RBIs and was an honorable mention selection on the Marywood All-Conference team. After graduation, Wally enrolled at UW-Stevens Point and joined the Pointer football program. His freshman year, the Pointers were 6-4. Wally carried the ball 23 times for 105 yards. His sophomore year, Stevens Point was 7-2. Wally carried the ball 74 times for 353 yards and 4 touchdowns, and he also had 19 receptions for 139 yards and 1 touchdown. His junior year, the Pointers were 9-2. Wally carried the ball 182 times for 847 yards and 10 touchdowns, and he had 22 receptions for 170 yards and 1 touchdown. He was a second-team selection on the All-WIAC All-Conference team. His senior year, the Pointers were 2-8. Wally carried the ball 94 times for 428 yards and 4 touchdowns, and had 22 receptions for 163 yards. Wally's 182 carries in 1999 ranks 4th all-time in Stevens Point history. His 847 yards that year ranks him 5th all-time, and his game with 4 rushing touchdowns in one game is 2nd all-time in Pointer history. Wally graduated in 2002 from UW-Stevens Point with a degree in health, promotional, and wellness. After interning a year for working for the Chicago Bulls as a strength and conditioning coach, he then enrolled at Northwestern Health Science University in Bloomington, Minnesota, to earn his doctorate of chiropractic medicine, which he earned in 2008. Today, Dr. Wally Schmidt owns Proactive Wellness and Chiropractic, located in Stevens Point. Wally and his wife, Michelle, and their family reside in Plover, Wisconsin. Wally Schmidt, Larry.
Well, there you go. It came right back to where he went to college.
Yeah, and you can bet he does a lot with Stevens Point, too.
Oh, I'll bet.
You know, so.
He was a workhorse
You
in
bet.
the backfield.
Oh, you bet.
Wow, 182 carries. That's a lot for college football.
Yeah, and especially a program like Point, which is always throwing the ball a lot.
Right,
Yeah. So
obviously they saw
something in
him that they liked.
Crawled on his back.
Yes. All right, let's see here. The Packers announced that Packers Family Night is going to be coming up August 2nd. 24th year already for that.
Well, yeah, it's always a big thing. Usually, it's a deal where a lot of people who can't get to a regular Packer game can afford to take their family out at fairly cheap tickets, and they see the team practice and a big fireworks display.
It's amazing they sell that out.
I know it's
just for a practice.
I know it's unbelievable. But there's a lot of people. Even with an 80,000 seat stadium, there's a lot of people who can't get tickets or can't afford to get the tickets, and
$10 a piece plus fees. They go on sale starting Monday, June 16th.
So a family of 5 can go see them practice for $60, basically.
And that's cheaper than a regular season ticket.
that won't get you much parking for.
$60. So Ticketmaster.com, June 16th is where you can go to get tickets for that.
Yeah, right now the NFL kind of taking a back seat right now. Not much going on right now.
Well, I think everybody's still waiting to see what
Aaron Rodgers is going to
do. I know there's talk of him going to Steelers, but I don't know what he's waiting for.
You would think you'd want to get in and start working, but
he's never in a hurry.
I seen an article yesterday where Terry Bradshaw basically told him to stay in California.
He doesn't think too much of him coming to the Steelers. But I don't know what. Well, that's Aaron.
It's Aaron Rodgers.
He wants to be the front page.
Yeah, and so he can go on every week to Pat McAfee's show and tell what he's doing these days.
Yeah, if he tells everybody what's going on, he's out of the spotlight.
And quite there's other, with David Carr retiring, there's also a point, but I don't think New Orleans wants anything to do with him.
I don't think so either.
And I'm starting to think Mike Tomlin don't want anything to do with him either.
Well, realistically, how long does he have?
Yeah, right. He's going to have 1 year.
Maybe 2. So
he's 41 years old. He'll be 42 years old. 42 years old in December.
He's coming off an Achilles injury.
Right, absolutely. And he's not as mobile in the pocket. And one good hit and it's going to be over. Yeah. So it's
it's a chance you're going to take.
I think the Steelers are they waiting for next year's draft maybe, but they've got Mason Rudolph in camp. Mason Rudolph has started a handful of games.
Yeah.
Are they willing to go the bet and get and position themselves for a quarterback for next year? But it's a team that's always prided itself in making the playoffs. But it's also a very tough division they're in with Baltimore and Cincinnati. Cleveland hasn't been much, but very tough.
Well, now they will.
That's right.
Sanders.
Yeah, right.
Come on.
Yeah. Okay.
He's going to take them to the promised land.
Okay, yeah. So Mel Kiper can crow about it. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, but they've always prided themselves on being a playoff contender, and is Mason Rudolph the guy who can do it? They went out and got who from the Seahawks for a wide receiver. I forget. I can't think of his name off the top of my head.
I know.
But they also traded George Pickens though to Dallas. So
Yeah, right.
So I mean, are they really serious about this or not? So I don't know.
Well, again, if you're going with Rodgers, it's going to be a 1 or 2 year deal.
Yeah,
it's
at
not
best.
going to be
It's not
10-year
deal. Not
deal.
a future. I think he's only got 1 more year on that contract that he signed with Green Bay.
Okay.
So I thought that was a 3-year extension.
And then there's talk of him whether or not he's going to retire as a Packer. It's like,
right.
I didn't think there was a question.
Where
there,
else would you? I mean,
what's he going to retire as a Jet?
Yeah, the Jets fans will shoot him for that. Yeah, so
I
don't know.
Obviously, he's going to retire as a Packer.
I said the guy just likes to be talked about.
I guess,
and I don't know if everything that comes out of his mouth is repeated. Is it repeated 3rd time, 4th time? But all I know is that he likes to have stuff to talk about when he goes on Pat McAfee's show.
Yeah.
And Pat McAfee just allows him to. And
Yep.
one of the reasons the Jets didn't want him around him because they weren't going to allow him to be on Pat McAfee's show. And then I think that's something with a lot of teams too, why they don't want to even deal with him because of that, because he goes on these shows and blows his mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
NBA playoffs. We were talking about before we went on. Indiana and New York kind of beating each other up.
Yeah, I don't know if the survivor is going to be able to handle the finals.
Whoever it is.
Yeah, I said, right now, the
Pacers are in the driver's seat.
You're up 3-1. They're going back to New York tonight. But, the way it looks on the other side with OKC is going to be healthy and ready to go. And quite honestly, they're the most talented team left. And they're making pretty good work of Minnesota, quite honestly. But, the way these guys are playing, I don't know. It's just nuts. It just
makes me tired just watching it.
Yeah, it really is. They are. It's really playing hard. It's actually fun to watch, but you wonder if they're going to have anything left for the finals. So
yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. Women's College World Series getting underway today at Oklahoma City, and Oklahoma is back in it.
Yeah,
4-time defending champs.
Yeah, they've got Tennessee in the first round. Texas is with Florida, Oregon, and UCLA, 2 Big Ten teams.
Yeah, I see that.
And then Clemson and Texas Tech. And these are all being held at Devon Park in Oklahoma City. So Oklahoma going to be the hometown favorite, I would think. So
they're the number 2 seed.
Yep.
One seed's out.
Yeah, Texas A&M was the number 8, and I think they got beat right away too.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
And first time that's happened in Coon's age. So
and Vanderbilt, they're the top seed for the baseball.
Yep.
No doubt, or no
number
surprise
1.
there.
13 SEC teams in the tournament.
Boy, even baseball they're dominant.
Yeah.
But it was just football. But.
That should be good. That's getting underway right now. So
yeah.
But, and their World Series will be in a couple weeks. But
yeah, it's a busy time everywhere.
Yeah. NHL. Edmonton leads Dallas 3-1. Their Game 5 is tonight, and it looks like Florida's going to come in from the East. So
another Florida again.
Yeah, Florida's tough. They've
been there a few times.
Yes, absolutely. And I said before them it was Tampa Bay. So why these Florida teams are winning?
You don't have to be from Canada to be in the NHL final.
I don't know how they make ice there, but
they try their best. All right, so a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Not just high school. There's stuff going on everywhere,
college.
sports-wise.
Yeah.
And we'll have baseball again for you later on today as the regional quarterfinals get underway in Division 3. It'll be Neillsville-Granton traveling to Whitehall, and they got the artificial surface down there.
All the field. The whole field. The kids played on a turf infield earlier in the year at Safford Park in Marshall, but there the outfield is grass. The park at Whitehall is turf all the way around.
Okay, all right.
And it's a nice park. It's grandstand seating, so the fans, won't be sitting in the rain or the sun or whatever,
Okay.
So
how does that affect? We got about a minute here left. How does that affect players like Neillsville-Granton when they don't play on something like that?
Well, they just got.
they did once, but
you got to realize that the ball is coming at you faster.
Mm-hmm.
You may not get the true bounce. The ball is going to stay on the ground. You gotta be down with that glove on the ground all the time.
I mean, this is obviously a home field advantage for Whitehall.
Absolutely,
because not a lot of teams play on that.
And your outfield, the ball is going to get to you faster too. But it's also you hit one down the lines, it's going to get to the corner a lot faster. You got to be on your horse there, so you just got to be moving fast. We went over there with youth team in when the class of '24 was in 7th grade.
Okay.
And those kids, of course, they're pretty good ball players. They adapted real well to it.
I know my boys, when they played in Marshfield, they liked playing on that.
Yeah, I said most kids like to play. They were a little leery at first, but when they went out there and warmed up on it, this is kind of fun.
You get true hops.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're not sitting back. You know the ball, when the ball is hit at you, it's coming right at you. So,
yeah.
So.
All right, so again, that's later on today, 5 o'clock game time on 92.7.
Should be fun.
WPKG. All right, that'll wrap it up here for Two Guys on Sports for this week. I'm Larry Hazer.
I'm Dick Olson.
We'll talk to you again next week.